Hey guys, Derek Johnson here. Today's blog post, this video blog post, is about persistency in sales. I was talking to another person today and he was telling me, I really want this big account and, I've left a couple voicemails on the guy's, phone, but he hasn't called me back, so, I think I'm going to move on. As Gary Vaynerchuk says, get off the bitch train and keep hammering it, because you have to realize in a startup that the other person on the other line is getting hundreds of calls. They're getting hundreds of emails. They're always being pitched on products. And if you're calling 1, 2, 3 times and then you give up, you're never going to be able to lock up those big deals. I have seriously called some of our big accounts 20, 30 times. 30 times in like the course of a couple months. I've called them every other day, every 3 days, left a voice message, a different voice message every single time, trying to get him to call me back, trying to, tweak the way he thinks about text messaging, sell him on, the benefits of text messaging. The 30th time the guy calls me back and he's like, oh, hey, Derek, sorry I haven't returned, your call. 30 times I was like, hey, at least I'm talking to you right now. Now I can sell you. I think from a sales standpoint, you either have to get a yes or a no from somebody. Again, if somebody calls you back and says, I'm not interested, don't call me, you stop. That's usually when you call it quits. But if the guy's not answering, keep trying, because trust me, people are busy. People get flooded with emails, phone calls, personal stuff. Maybe they're on vacation for a month, and they're coming back and they haven't heard all those voice messages. Keep trying. A lot of people out there on Twitter, Facebook, friends of mine, they know I've been on Gary Vaynerchuk, for the last, 6 months maybe. I originally pitched an idea about using text messaging for wine, recommendation and wine alerts, directly to your mobile phone. I think it'd be super hot. I pitched him, I think, over email. He responded. He was like, hey, this sounds interesting. I talked to one of his guys, in his office. He said, yeah, we're going to evaluate it. Then I saw him at a conference I was speaking at. We were speaking at the same conference, and I was like, Gary, what's the deal? You need to get on text messaging right now. He was like, hey, we'll look at it. Again, you don't stop. You just keep pounding, the pavement. Gary has emails and people and television shows and Twitter messages and things coming at him from all different directions. Again, if I send one message into that, craziness that is Gary Vaynerchuk's life, the chance that he's going to see that, remember it, is very, very little. However, though, if you use the approach that I've been taking, in that we're constantly pitching stuff, we're putting, videos on his front page about text messaging into Tango, we're tweeting him, I'm, seeing him at conferences, we're making PDFs for him, we're doing all this stuff, and every couple days, every 3 to 5 days, every week, he's seeing something about text messaging into Tango. And seriously, it will start to weigh on him, because he'll realize, he'll start to, every day when he thinks about text messaging, he's going to go, God damn, Derek is seriously hitting me up every single day. I know I need to get on this. It keeps moving up his list, because he has a list of 1,000 different things that, he needs to look at. When somebody is constantly reminding you, constantly feeding you articles, constantly feeding you, PDFs and examples and other people that would find it interesting, you keep moving up that list a little bit, keep moving up. So when Gary Vee has a board meeting, he goes, guys, this Derek kid keeps on, messaging me about text messaging. Let's come up with an answer right now. Either we're going to do it or we're going to not. So at least I don't get bothered anymore about this. It comes down to really hustling, getting off the bitch train and actually calling, and keep calling, and wait till you get a response from the person. Don't just fizzle out after 3 calls, and try different tactics too. Send an email, send a Facebook, send a text message, call on the phone. You never know which one, he's going to personally respond to. A lot of people know that, I get a ton of emails, but text messaging, boom, I'll respond to you right away. That's the best way to reach me. Phone calls, not so much, because I'm doing so much other stuff. Again, though, if you just email me all the time, I might not respond to it. But if you text message me, just one of those times, then you'll get a response right away. So you got to try all the different mediums. Really, the takeaway from what I'm talking about right now is to really never give up. As a startup founder, you really have to just keep hustling, keep hammering on things until you get your way. or until you get a yes or a no answer from somebody. You know, keep trying, keep, making calls, keep placing emails. You know, if you think it's a valuable tool, and hopefully you do because it's your startup, keep hustling. You know, that's all I can, advise you to do, and trust me, it has worked. You know, that 30th call that I placed that he actually did respond to, one of these big accounts that we've sold, the minute I got him on the phone, he was locked up and he, is now a Tatango client. If I would have stopped at 5 calls, he would have never been a Tatango client. So, take that, put in your piggy bank, and, hopefully that helps you guys, to not give up, when you're doing your sales for your startup.